I'd like to take a minute and introduce myself. I'm Brenda Stewart, a realtor and a proud Lexington, Kentucky native. Might say I'm a very dedicated realtor. I have a deep love for my hometown. I'm passionate about welcoming new residents and helping families move to their perfect place in Lexington, Kentucky. Whether you're moving across town or relocating from afar, my commitment is to make the transition smooth, exciting, and guide you to your new home. Please call me 859-312-5994.
Welcome, friends, to Saddle Up in the Bluegrass. This week we're going to talk about Ashland Park. And what better place to start is Ashland Home. Ashland Home was the home of Henry Clay, our statesman. He was born in 1777, and he came to Lexington, Kentucky as a 20-year-old. Then he decided to kind of collect houses or property, and he ended up with 600 acres. However, it did help that he met the love of his life, Lucinda Hart Clay, and they were married, and it was the love of his life, and they had 11 children. They had 5 boys and 6 girls. So they decided to build a house on this piece of property, and it's the Henry Clay home right here. Today it's a museum. People use it to tour, take pictures, but it's a beautiful home. The coin corners are limestone. If you remember, Kentucky is sitting on a limestone shelf, and they had that shipped in to do the mansion. The mansion is actually the second mansion because he built it in 1804 to 1820, and it took that long to complete it. And then when he passed away, his children rebuilt it in 1852. So I wanted to come over here to the side of the mansion to show you point out some of the detail work of the house that was done for the second time in 1852, because after Henry Clay passed away, his son James inherited the property, and they said the house was falling apart. So he redid it completely. But I want you to notice all the trim work around the windows, how beautiful it is, and the brick work around the chimneys. And look at the foundation, how strong and sturdy the foundation is. What do they say? They don't build them like they used to. But here's the side of the house that has all the detail work. Now, believe it or not, in 1904, they rebuilt the house again because it was left to their great-grandchildren, and they decided that it needed work. It was old and dilapidated. So if that's true, that means that these houses don't last more than 50 years. We might be in trouble, mightn't we? We're in the garden now of Henry Clay home, Ashland, and it's quiet, and that's the way the whole neighborhood is. It's a place that makes you want to go through it slowly and take everything beautiful into your memory. Lucinda and Henry Clay wanted to have something special in their garden. So they called one of the very famous Frederick Law Olson to come and design the gardens. It gives you a feel of peace and comfort, beautiful colors in the garden. And this has spilled over into Ashland Park neighborhood. It's a place that people like to walk and just take their time getting through it. And it's very, very close to downtown. But today, right now, we're looking at the garden that they had designed by Frederick Law. I'm standing in front of one of the first styles that they developed in Ashland Park. And it's kind of a craftsman, but back then they called this the Colonial Revival. Colonial Revival. We call it craftsman sometimes, or sometimes we call it a bungalow. When they first started designing Ashland Park, they had 4 different models that they started with. This is one of them. It's called the Foursquare, and you can see how it's named. Now, I've known this has been a multiple home, more than one person living here, but also sometimes it's just a single family. The first street they started with when they started developing the 600 acres is Richmond Road. And all these houses are beautiful, but they're mansions. And they started with a Tudor style home, which is what's behind me. And now I'm standing in front of American Revival Home. This is one of the 4 styles that were started when they were developing the 600 acres. We're in the Ashland Park neighborhood now, and here's something really unique. It's called the LFL, Little Free Library, that the neighbors are actually, not the neighbors, but the owner of the house is responsible for making it or putting it together and putting it in the yard. It started out for children, and they could come up to the Little Free Library and take a book out, read it, maybe replace it with a book they'd already read, and then bring it back or give it to somebody else. This is the nature of this neighborhood. It has a really unique personality, and like I said earlier, it's slow pace, but that they would think about the children, and that's developed into the adults. So there's adult books in there also, novels and so forth. But here's a Little Free Library, LFL, and you'll see this all over the neighborhood.
Now we're entering in Chevy Chase. This is still part of Henry Clay's old estate. This is where the shopping's done. We're getting ready to pass the oldest bar in town, Chevy Chase Inn. It was built in 1933 after Prohibition. Here is Farmer's Jewelry. It's been around for decades. A restaurant, Bear and Butcher, and they own the beer trap. Just ask for Kevin. He can tell you anything you want to know about beer at the beer trap. Domino's. Now, you can't see, but there's a restaurant back there in the right corner. We came around to the shopping in the Ashland and Chevy Chase areas, Kroger's, and a lot of the college students come there. It's a very busy Kroger's. Just a small area, but remember, we're close to downtown.
So now I'm in Woodland Park. Woodland Park is in walking distance of Ashland Park. So when the families are out walking or the kids are trying to go to someplace fun to play, they'll come to Woodland Park. This park was developed in 1904. It was developed by no other than Henry Clay's great-grandchildren. They called the very same famous Frederick Law Olson to design the park, to preserve all the beautiful trees and nature, and to give a place that families could come and enjoy. In the summertime, they have lots of ballet in the park. They have bands to come play. There's just all sorts. Woodland Park, there's all sorts of things that they can do here. Woodland Park is a lot of different things for different people. So this is Woodland Park, and I'm going to end it on that. We'll do another segment on Woodland Park. Got to apologize for my bad hair day, but it was certainly nice having you all with me. If you have any questions about Lexington, Kentucky, or you want me to answer anything about properties in Lexington, call me, text me, just let me know and I'll be there to help you. Bye for now.